Welcome to Board Game Lounge. My name is Victor. I'm joined by Greg.
Hello.
Today we are reviewing Revenant from Mindclash Games.
This was designed by Alan Kirkby and the artwork is by Ian O'Toole. It's a worker placement action selection game that you may have seen our playthrough. If you haven't, check it out here. We're going to do a quick review and we want to give two different perspectives because we are very different styles of board gamers. But if you saw our playthrough, I think we did all right.
And I think you'll see that we both clearly enjoyed this game quite a lot as well.
All right, so the board game essentials. This is where we talk about player count, time to play, etc. And we've played it 2-player. I've watched it played at 4-player. Time-wise, I think for your first game, it's an hour and 15 minutes per person.
For sure. I think our first game, we definitely were around the 4-hour mark. So it is quite complex. You're not going to be able to get this to the table immediately. But it reminds me of games like Gloomhaven, where you can actually play it as you learn, and that isn't the case with every board game.
It is a reasonably complex game. However, I think if you've got a gamer friend who you invite along, they can pick up the general concepts very quickly, and you refer to the glossary as needed. So
yeah, because we both have had experience with these types of big games before. We picked it up together, but if you're inviting somebody that hasn't played these sort of worker placement type games, then it'll be a struggle for them for sure, I think.
In terms of game mechanisms, essentially you're just moving up tracks, but your decisions are based on where you place your crew during the game. And that drives your actions and then bonus actions for the turn. So the bonus actions are generally always the same. Your actions can be different until, of course, you upgrade your cadets and then you'll get different elements come in.
Yeah. My favorite part of the game is that there is sort of that co-op sort of involvement with the other player, but also at the same time you can backstab them and leave them to die and perish if you wish as well. So there is some sort of cooperation in terms of managing the board together and the aliens, but really you are just playing for yourself and you want to be as selfish as you can, really.
Yeah. So it has that Nemesis vibe. That's what I feel like I'm playing when I play this. It's not Ticket to Ride, where it's just straight out I'm doing my thing and blocking you potentially. You do need to work together to a certain extent and encourage other people to do, say, the hyperspace jump so that you reap your rewards on the way back. And you don't just get overwhelmed and lose the things that are going to happen when the Revenant takes damage. That's a really core element.
For sure, but you are keeping what you're doing private. That's very important. You're keeping most of it private.
As much as you can, except for the houses that you sort of promote and demote up the house track. The issue is you can't bluff. There's not enough time in the game to bluff because you only get 12 turns.
Yes. Yep.
So you can't go, I'm just going to push this one up, even though it doesn't help me because I want them to think that. You haven't got time for that. Get on with it.
Yep.
I love Ian O'Toole's artwork in anything. What did you think?
Yeah, it definitely had that, it's not as gritty as Nemesis is, but it's definitely space theme. It's definitely like, oh no, we're in it now. We're in a space movie. So I definitely felt immersed for sure. And I really actually wanted to sort of role play while I was playing. So I really like the theme as well. Anything space, I absolutely go nuts about.
Well, Ian O'Toole can quite often be sort of, it's not realistic. Like it's not photorealistic artwork. It's quite abstract to a certain extent, but I think he's just nailed it on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the box art. Of course, we are reviewing the deluxe edition with the 3D components, etc. But it's beautiful to look at. It's not. Sometimes you'll look at a board and you'll say it's too busy. I can't figure it out.
And in saying that as well, there's no like character pictures, so you're not playing as a specific hero that has like big biceps and Greg's playing as the petite, scientific, person. It's all just very simple, but very not overwhelming in any way either, which is what you were saying.
And of course, with the deluxe edition, the table presence is fantastic. It looks amazing. You'll see some shots here of us playing it through.
These are the painted versions.
I've painted mine, but
yes.
they are sort of just grey plastic. But even without that, you could just do a wash or but again, it's simple, stylistic artwork is what I would say. But there is a ton of iconography that you need to get across. But once you've done it a couple of times, they all make sense. Some of them you think, oh, why does that mean that? But it kind of just makes sense.
It does, yeah. And to help with that, there's 2 really fantastic rule books that pretty much take you through the whole game, and it's really well written, don't you? How did you feel about that? Because you were mainly the rule book guy, and I was mainly the secondary rule book, which goes over all the cards and the abilities.
The glossary.
The glossary, yes.
Yeah. Look, I think there's probably a couple of spots where there could be a couple of clarifications, such as when you upgrade a cadet, the effects next to that cadet only apply to that cadet. Now, that might seem really obvious, but when you first play, you go, oh, can I use that function for anything? Because it wasn't it is in the rule book, but I think they could have just had 1 or 2 extra lines that say, when you use your captain, it's this part of the board and it only applies to them.
Yes.
When you use the frigate, it's these, it's nothing else. When you use this cadet, he's the one that's got the upgrades. This one, she doesn't have those upgrades, so it doesn't apply. So again, that might seem obvious, but I think to new gamers, they might struggle a little bit with just a couple of tiny extra clarifications. It could have been absolute perfection. But other than that, it's well laid out.
The glossary is fantastic, by the way. I was in charge of the glossary. Every card tells you exactly what it does. Absolutely points for that. It was awesome.
Yeah, look, there was a couple of turns of phrase that we had a bit of an argument about. As long as this, do this, which it can be a little bit ambiguous, but that was few and far between. The rule book is it's not overly long, but it gives great examples. One thing that we did pick up was that the rule didn't say something specific, but if you read the example, it gave a clarification. Now, I'm a bit up and down about that. I think if the example gives more information than the rule, then the rule should be updated to match
I can agree with
example.
That. For sure.
That's my biggest qualm about the game.
Yeah, 100%. And these little things where you go, oh, just screw it, we'll just go with this ruling, that can impact the game dramatically. I think in the game we released online, it was like a 2-3 point win in the end by Greg. So it's like very big decisions based on tiny little misreadings of cards. But really, again, far and few in between. Like you won't come across that very often.
And it's good that they actually, the publisher has been quite active, particularly the designer. He even commented on our video and said, yeah, I think we both missed moving up on the house track a couple of times.
Yeah, for sure.
In fact, the very first turn of the game, apparently. But rulebook quality, really good, really well laid out. Lots of white space. It's not just completely dense like, say, Terraforming Mars, where it's just big piles of text. It really gives you a good introduction. And there were some examples of, I still wouldn't mind seeing more of a one-round playthrough, complete playthrough. But overall, very good. Table presence, obviously, people walk past this game, they're going to go, what's that? I want to play.
For sure.
And we would say, you're too stupid to play this.
It's not that hard.
No,
it's not that hard.
Again, I would say I've obviously played a lot more hardcore games than Victor has. He picked it up straight away.
Yeah.
Bang, we were into it.
Yeah, it flows really well. And again, it's all about learning the glossary and what all the symbols do, because you do have a tracker that shows you what's next pretty much in every step of the game. So if you just follow that and you just double check and stuff, you'll actually follow it pretty well, pretty easily as well. Yeah,
we made one glitch in that, but next game will be perfect.
So basically the aim of the game is to advance on the house track. The houses is about, 8 houses?
7.
7 houses. And the further you go up, the higher the multiplier is. And the multiplier is based on how many ships there are of that house on the board at any given time. And the ships they'll be destroyed by the aliens. You can bring some back. So those multipliers will change pretty frequently.
Yes, that, and with the hidden influence cards, which again sort of directly relate to the house tracks, but they're secret to you and you alone, plus the personal objectives and the fleet objectives, which is just trying to keep certain numbers of ships on the board as well. But it also might mean having 8 energy resources at the end of the game, or at least 7, at least the second space on 7 house tracks, things like that. But it's just about earning points. But the way you do it doesn't feel like you are literally just moving up tracks. So some of those Euro games feel like I'm just doing this little part of the board over here to move up this track there, move that track there, that one there, that one there. And this is essentially the same, but the way it's designed, you don't feel like you're just pushing tokens around a track.
For sure.
I really enjoyed that aspect.
And you can sort of tell some of the time if you're going to win or not, or like it's going to be a close game. But there's quite a lot of win conditions at the end. And I love that type of scoring where it's like, oh, I've got 6 of these points, or who got most of these? And sort of you see the score fluctuating depending on what you focused on. When we played last, I focused heavily on landing on planets and getting cubes and getting rid of the, what are the orange markers again? The corruption. Whereas you were focused really heavily on your frigate and upgrading your cadets, that type of stuff.
I'm still surprised I won because I don't think I concentrated on anything. Yeah. I was all over the shop.
Yeah, 100%. Whereas, I was focusing, my captain was focused on landing on planets, and so that's sort of the objective that I was going for.
So I think this game has a good balance of that who's winning, because I don't like a game where you play for 3 hours and you have no idea who's leading the game, because that's where half of the meta game is, the table talk, where you go, guys, we need to start picking on Bill for a while, because he's clearly in front. Yeah. So this treads the line nicely, where you've got some idea of how well people are doing because it's public information on that house board, and then you've got your secret objectives plus hidden influence. That's a good mix because it's not definitive who's winning, but at least you have a feel and a vibe. I really don't enjoy games where we've played for 4 hours. Oh, you won. Great.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
Yeah, for sure.
You need to have that. The meta game is half a game.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep, I agree.
And this does that very well.
Yeah, and we were also never, oh, gotcha, I did this, haha, take that. There's a little bit of that, like I'm going to go here because I know you, I'm going to land on this spaceship because I know you want to land there. But not really, because there's always options.
There are always
for every
options.
player.
Correct.
Yeah.
One of the core mechanisms of this game is the skirmish phase.
Yes.
So we have the Voidborn, which are spawning all over the board during the Rift phase later on, but they're there to attack the ships, and then if their ships aren't there, apply damage to the Revenant.
Yes.
Now, one of the other key core mechanisms is applying the damage. So whoever's frigate is closest to that sector, they get to choose where the damage goes.
Yep.
If they're equidistant, then it's based on turn order on the tactics track. So that I really enjoyed that aspect where you go, oh, Victor's going to be placing the damage there, so I need to maneuver some more ships in there or get my ships out of there.
Yep.
So you're giving this sort of this deductive element to it where you're trying to work out what your opponent's trying to do while still not destroying the Revenant, because the Revenant might die and you go, oh no, I'm going to lose half of my influence cards, things like that.
Yeah. As a player, you might see the other player like high on one house track, and you might sort of be okay with those ships being blown up so that the multiplier
You did that
down.
to me.
Yeah, I saw Greg's
I was
house.
pushing up a track and Victor had heaps of hidden influence cards.
Yeah.
And he was going, great.
Yeah, you can die on that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Those ships can die. But then also, you also get the negative part of that as well. You have less places to land, less places to put your cadets and captains. So it is a balance. And also the best part of the game is if you do start to get overwhelmed, you can you can hyper jump and get out of there, just like in Star Wars, with the white lines coming at you. And that, again, relies on some trust. Like, hey, Greg, if we don't go to hyper jump. If we don't hyper jump, we're going to die. So are you going to do it, or do I have to do it? And if Greg says he's going to do it, you have to sort of believe and trust that he will.
And you might even help them achieve that goal by not stuffing it up.
Yes.
And again, there is a benefit to doing the hyperspace if you're higher on the tactics track, because you'll get benefits on the way back, which would be hidden influence, or you pick an influence if you've gone the full length. So that incentive mechanism is really clever, because it just means you can't just leave it to everyone else. There are times when you'll go, you know what, I'll step up to the plate. I'll do it.
But there are also times where there isn't much incentive to protect a certain ship or protect the Revenant as well. So you've got to like sort of balance, like, am I going to be the good guy and protect the Revenant this time, or am I just going to like go be selfish and go to this planet and get mega resources for my next turn?
Victor is very good at being selfish.
Yes. That has nothing to do with the board game either.
No, that's not true. You bought me a coffee again today, so thank you.
That's absolutely. So this is the type of game that I've been thinking about pretty much every day since we played it the first time. So in terms of replayability for me, definitely I want to just play it a lot. But I also don't want to have to teach somebody how to play it again. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
I don't want to sit down with a new player and teach them. That's just for me personally. I just want to keep playing with Greg, although I do want to play with a third person, but I don't want to go through that whole process of being like, you know, you're going to do really poorly for your first 2 games and I'm just going to excel because that's not going to be that fun for me.
Look, I'll get Boone in and I'll teach him.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a 3-player and we'll put that. If you want to see that on the channel, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think replayability is good because there's lots of different ways you can win the game. The stayability, so to me, is how long will it sit on my shelf and I'll keep grabbing it.
Yeah.
I still think it's fairly high. And I'm happy to teach it to new people because they'll get a different experience and I might have a chance of winning. But it's definitely one that I will be going to for a while. It's not a set and forget on the shelf.
Yeah. I'm definitely keen to play it again. So you just let me know and I'll be there.
Now, the pacing, there is a long game.
Yeah.
And one of the issues with these types of games are if you go to a location and someone else was going to go there, that's fine. But you can't really plan your turn ahead. You can have general ideas of what you think you might want to do. But, you know, if you're the last of 4 people, you literally have to sit there and watch the game or go and do something else because you will be waiting.
For sure. Yeah. And you definitely want to play with people that you like playing with. You know, there's going to be a lot of, actually, can I undo that? Can I just quickly undo that? And, you know, I'll put that resource back. You know, because you're going to be thinking, again, a little bit ahead, but sometimes it won't always work out. So I definitely recommend playing with people that play nicely.
Play nice and also don't overanalyze things.
Yeah.
You know, this game could even benefit with a 5-minute timer for your turns, to be honest, because I watched a game, I think they played for about 5 hours.
Yeah.
It was 4 people, so it's not unreasonable. And if it's going to be your whole game day, great. Take as long as you want because you can go and have your snacks and whatever. But people were being over-analytical, trying to eke out every last little point. And I don't think it's that important. It doesn't require you to go to that level. You should just get on with your turn, make a few points, kill a few Voidborn, get out and let the next player go.
Especially when you're learning.
Oh, look, definitely, yeah. So the more you play it, I think we could knock out a game in 2 hours quite easily now. But yeah, for if you have people that suffer from analysis paralysis, maybe this isn't the game for them.
Yeah, I agree with that. So do you have any moments during the gameplay that makes this game memorable for you?
I think specifically during the skirmish phase, when you're applying the damage and really making those, that's when you have to decide, am I going to throw you to the wolves and rescue my staff, or is it about looking after the fleet in general because of what's happening over here? I think that's the stuff that really makes this game sing because you can't just, it's not black and white. There's so much grey in there, and I think that's where I like to play, in the grey. Did you find any weaknesses in the game?
I think at length, just a little bit too long maybe. I think, the fact that it takes a long time to hyper jump and re-prepare the board makes people not want to do it as often. And I also think there needs to be more reason to actually kill off ships other than protecting the enemies, other than protecting your ships. I think there needs to be just a little bit more reward, especially now that we know that track doesn't reset after every round.
I think this game could benefit from a stronger third player or an event deck or something that just might go, and maybe there's expansions coming, don't know, but if you're listening, designer, something that goes, oh no, Sector 9 is going to be obliterated.
Yeah, it's like, flip a card, Sector 9 has a meteor shower. Every ship takes 1 damage, but every alien is destroyed. Something like that would be cool.
Yeah, it doesn't need much, but just enough to go, let's take something a little bit more control out of our hands. And some gamers won't like that, but I don't mind a randomized element that we can maybe try and mitigate. So like the damage deck for the Revenant, an event deck, and we go, okay, what are we going to do about that?
Yeah. It could also even be positive. Like everyone in Sector 9 that has a cadet or a captain gets a resource because they, or for some reason, it could have positive elements as well.
Overall, I would say this is a very elegant design, not without a couple of little quibbles, but we enjoyed our time with the game.
Yeah.
It was a long time, but we enjoyed it, and I would definitely like to go again and really get that engine running. I haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
Where I've linked everything up and gone, right, when I take my frigate turn, this is going to be massive.
Yeah.
It's going to be, I'm going to go there, blow that up, do that. I'm going to use the strafe ability on a fighter. I don't think we ever did it once where you would, because we didn't have enough cards that would cause damage. So you can go shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, move. And really, so we've been a bit passive, I think. So I think in our next game, we should just go out more aggression.
Commit to that.
Let's commit to just destroying the Voidborn and then see where we end up.
Yeah. Cool. I agree with that. 100%.
We clearly like to play this again. Is it in your top 10 games for this year?
For me, yeah, absolutely. I I love these type of games. I'm a big fan of the theme. I like the fact that every time I play, I can have a completely different strategy. There's probably about 5 or 6 strategies because there's different captains, different things that you can aim for, different houses you can go up on the track. There's lots of options. So for me, for the year, yes, absolutely. There's just so much replayability.
It's probably my top 5, I would say. There are other games that I might grab more readily because it's more approachable for other players. But I think it's a really elegant design. It's well thought out. It's been carefully crafted with a certain gamer in mind. If you like Voidfall, this feels similar because it's that same universe and same iconography, basically. But I was actually bogged down a bit in Voidfall. I felt like I wasn't moving fast enough. There wasn't enough battle for a space battle game. We're in the battle. This is like a focused, zoomed-in view on each one of those little hexes in Voidfall, and we're playing them all out with some cooperative elements in there. So I'd give this a thumbs up. I did enjoy it. Not perfect, but it's pretty close.
It's really good. Really good.
So that's Revenant from Mindclash Games. I'm Greg. This is Victor. If you want to see more content like this, please let us know. We're heading towards 10,000 subscribers. 10?
10,000, yeah.
We're heading towards 10 subscribers.
10 scribbles?
We're heading towards 10,000 subscribers. So please give us all the support you can. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
See ya.